Caitriona, Outlander just had a really great time at the Golden Globes, and I couldn't help thinking while watching this that with your 3 nominations and you stepping on the red carpet, it had to at least feel like Claire going to Versailles.
No, it definitely did. I mean, it was just such a surreal night, and you know, you kind of show up at these things that, you know, it's the first time for all of us that we were there, and you're looking at all of these fantastic actors that you've been watching for years, and once we got out of the cars, you know, there's all of these bleachers sort of at the side, and it was full of Outlander fans. And, you know, there's like Michael Fassbender and Leonardo DiCaprio, but like they were all screaming Outlander, Outlander. And, you know, it was such a crazy moment because you just felt like everyone was like, who, what? And that was us. So, but it was really fun. It was a really special night. I mean, I think we all just felt so grateful to get the nominations and for the show to get some recognition. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was Best Drama Series you were nominated for. You were nominated. Tobias was nominated. And were you especially starstruck with seeing any A-list stars in person?
Well, I met Mark Rylance on the red carpet, and then we bumped into him later on that night again, and he is just one of the nicest men. But you know, he's a legend in British theatre, and he's such a fantastic actor, and that was a big moment. And I saw Patricia Arquette in the bathrooms, and she was very complimentary of my dress, and we had a little chat. So, you know, things like that were you know, that's what makes it so fun, you know.
What is extraordinary on the awards scene for this show is that normally soap operas, shows with excessive emotion, are not really embraced well by cynical journalists. But this year, you won 2 Critics' Choice Awards for a new show, etc. And what's interesting is that you've got this fanatic fan base out there among viewers, you've got the industry respect coming with these top Golden Globe nominations, and you've got these cynical critics in your lap, too. This is remarkable for a new show.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're a soap opera, but no, I feel very proud of our show. You know, this genre sometimes gets a bad rap, I suppose, or maybe it's not taken as seriously as more contemporary shows. But I think the great challenge about doing fantasy or something like that is that within these sort of very arch situations sometimes, the challenge is to make it very grounded and very real. And, you know, that's what we sort of fight every day to do. And I think that, you know, we're being successful, you know, and that's why I think people they're taking notice of the show, because you have to believe these characters, you have to believe the relationships, and you have to believe that, you know, even within the confines of time travel, that these situations are happening to these characters. And yeah, it just feels great. I mean, you go into a show and you have no expectations about where it's going to land or who's going to follow it, and the fact that we seem to be able to cross a couple of lines, whether it's fans or critics, then that's just fantastic.
By soap opera, I meant big emotions. You don't see that in really contemporary shows, and you guys are fearless about it. And I think that big heart of the show is what makes it so appealing on one level. As you enter into the Emmys next, what I want you to do is give a shout out to some elements, I think particularly on the craft side, that the Emmy voters should pay attention to. The big scene stealer in season 2, which I've seen half of, is your red dress. Yeah. This thing is kapowie, and it's remarkable. And then on the art direction side, at the Emmy event last night, you were calling some attention to, deservedly, to the apothecary. Am I pronouncing the word right?
The apothecary.
Apothecary,
yes.
Thank you. Talk about some of those things.
I mean, you know, Terry and Gary have done such a fantastic job this season. And, you know, I think both of them spoke last night that this was a real passion project for both of them. It's a period that they both sort of had dreamed about getting to do a show about. You know, Terry last year, she done such an amazing job, but this year she was given sort of carte blanche to go as big and as bold as she wanted with the costumes. Yes, Terry Dressback, our costume designer. And she really has. I mean, each piece is like a work of couture. And they made them all from scratch. They're all handmade.
10,000 of them, she says.
10,000. You know, all of the extras. I mean, my wardrobe alone is just something to be viewed. It's just stunning. But, you know, what amazes me is how each character has, you know, everything's so specific to them and their traits. And for Claire, normally Claire is such a no-nonsense, practical person. And when we talked with Terry about the costumes going into this season, she really wanted, on the one hand, to allow Claire a little bit of liberty to, you know, explore a different side of her femininity that we've never seen before. You know, you're not going to stores in Paris and buying off the rack. So you would normally go to a couturier and you would make these clothes in conjunction with them, in collaboration with them. And so Terry wanted to bring this idea of Claire's 1940s eye to 18th century costume. And it's this beautiful marriage between elements of the 40s and then elements of the 18th century. And, you know, I just loved what she did with that. You know, there's elements of the Dior new look in there. There's, you know, a lot of just like the high necks that you would normally associate with the 40s. It's just a really beautiful thing. And, you know, it's always so interesting as an actor that when you put on certain costumes, how they make you feel, and your deportment and how you carry yourself becomes so intrinsic to what you're wearing. But that was, you know, I think she just did such an amazing job with this season. And then also the sets, you know, Gary Steele, he's a true artist. I mean, what he does is so amazing. Each of our sets, they're built from scratch. You know, they start off as these little models in his office, and you're like, you walk in then, you know, a month or two later into a stage, a sound stage, and lo and behold, there's a 2-story Parisian apartment that every detail is so finished to the last. You know, that there's velvet paneling, there's gold gilding. We have our own spiral staircase. We have an interior courtyard in the soundstage where, you know, that we have double doors going outside so the horses can come in and out. And it's just, you feel like you're in Paris. And so much of your work as an actor about, you know, your imagination of where you are and all of that, it's taken care of. So you can just concentrate on the emotional connection between you and the other characters. And Master Raymond's Apothecary was one of those especially. I mean, it's just a little shop of wonders. It's the most beautiful, quirky little place. And, you know, there's sliding stairs, and it's incredible, and I feel very grateful to be able to work with both of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you.